Ever bought a truck thinking it was the one, only for it to let you down in the worst way possible? Well, you're not alone. Today, we're talking about the trucks that have left owners frustrated, broke, and stranded. These aren't just bad vehicles. They're total reliability disasters that have cost their owners thousands in repairs and countless headaches. From engines that couldn't keep up to transmissions that failed way too soon, these trucks have earned their spot at the bottom of the barrel. Let's jump right into the 10 worst trucks that nobody wants to touch. Number 10. Subaru Baja, 2003 to 2006. Subaru thought they could convince truck buyers to embrace a car-based pickup, but the market disagreed. Hoping to sell 24,000 units annually, Subaru barely moved 30,000 Bajas over its entire 4-year production run. Why did it fail so spectacularly? The Baja couldn't decide what it wanted to be. Truck buyers found it too small and car-like, while Subaru's loyal car customers weren't impressed by its awkward styling and limited utility. The reliability wasn't terrible since it shared components with the Outback, but the 2.5-liter Boxer engine was notorious for external head gasket failures around the 80,000-mile mark. Owners often faced repair bills of $1,500 or more to fix coolant and oil leaks. The bed was barely usable, too small for most truck duties, and the mid-gate pass-through was a poor compromise. By 2006, sales had dropped to just 5,000 units before Subaru mercifully pulled the plug. Number 9. Chevrolet Silverado 1500 Hybrid, 2009 to 2013. General Motors' first attempt at a hybrid pickup was a disaster that almost nobody purchased. In its debut year, Chevy sold fewer than 250 units. Yes, you heard that right. Even at its peak, this eco-friendly truck barely cracked 1,500 annual sales, while regular Silverados sold over 300,000. The two-mode hybrid system, co-developed with BMW and Chrysler, added tremendous complexity without delivering meaningful benefits. City fuel economy improved by just 33% over the standard model, while highway economy remained virtually identical. Owners who did buy in faced a multitude of problems. The high-voltage battery pack under the rear seat would occasionally overheat, leading to a major recall. The electrical inverter module could fail without warning, leaving drivers stranded. Even the transmission couldn't decide if it wanted to operate in electric or gas mode, creating a shuddering, jerky driving experience. All this headache came with a $4,000 premium over the standard truck, reduced towing capacity, and uncertain long-term reliability. By 2013, GM quietly discontinued this experiment that consumers had already rejected. Number 8. Toyota Tundra 2022. Toyota built its reputation on reliability, which makes the 2022 Tundra's problems all the more shocking. Consumer Reports ranked the redesigned Tundra dead last in reliability among full-size trucks, even withdrawing its recommended status, a rare move for a Toyota product. The problem started with the new twin-turbo 3.5-liter V6 engine. Owners reported check engine lights and power loss due to failing wastegate valves in the turbochargers. Toyota issued a major recall, but the damage to its reputation was already done. The new multi-link rear suspension also proved problematic when a recall revealed that rear axle nuts were loosening, risking complete axle shaft separation. The 14-inch touchscreen would freeze or suddenly reboot, often requiring drivers to restart their trucks entirely. Toyota sold about 104,000 Tundras in 2022, a modest increase over the previous generation's 81,000 units, but nowhere near the 653,000 F-Series trucks Ford moved that same year. When Toyota stumbles this badly on reliability, truck buyers notice and stay away. Number 7. Toyota T100, 1993 to 1998. Here's a rare case where reliability wasn't the issue, but almost nobody bought the truck anyway. The T100 was Toyota's first attempt at a full-size pickup, and it missed the mark by almost every measure. Despite Consumer Reports giving it above-average reliability ratings, the T100 peaked at just 40,000 annual sales, a fraction of what domestic trucks were selling. By its final year in 1998, Toyota moved a pitiful 6,000 units. What went wrong? The T100 was caught in no man's land, slightly smaller than true full-size trucks with no V8 option and initially no extended cab version. Early models suffered from head gasket failures in the 3.0-liter V6, which Toyota addressed with a recall. The truck was underpowered at 150 to 190 horsepower, too expensive for its capabilities, and couldn't match domestic trucks' towing capacity. Even Toyota's stellar reputation couldn't overcome such fundamental product mismatches. The T100 taught Toyota a hard lesson that would eventually lead to the more competitive Tundra. Number 6. Lincoln Blackwood, 2002. Want to see what a true sales disaster looks like? Lincoln projected 10,000 annual sales for its luxury pickup, but the Blackwood was such a flop that it was discontinued after just 1 year, with only 3,383 units ever produced. The Blackwood perfectly demonstrates what happens when designers prioritize luxury over actual truck functionality. Its carpeted bed had a power tunnel cover that sealed it like a trunk, making it completely useless for actual truck duties. The cover would frequently malfunction and water intrusion was common. Lincoln only offered it in one configuration: black exterior, black interior, rear-wheel drive. No 4x4 option was available on a $52,000 truck in 2002, a deal-breaker for many luxury truck buyers. The complex suspension provided a smooth ride, but wasn't built for heavy loads. Ford executives called the Blackwood the fastest flop we've ever seen. Many units sat on dealer lots unsold well into 2003, requiring massive discounts to move. The Blackwood remains the gold standard for trucks nobody buys. Number 5. Chevrolet SSR, 2003 to 2006. The SSR wasn't just a truck, it was an identity crisis on wheels. Chevy created a convertible pickup with retro styling that satisfied neither truck nor sports car enthusiasts. In its best year, Chevy sold just 9,000 of these oddities. The retractable hardtop, the SSR's signature feature, was its biggest headache. Owners frequently reported roof mechanisms that failed, leaving tops stuck halfway open or misaligned. Few dealers knew how to repair them, resulting in expensive fixes. Early models came with an underpowered 5.3-liter V8 and a 4-speed automatic, making the heavy truck sluggish despite its sporty pretensions. Many experienced overheating when driven hard and differential whine that required dealer attention. The tiny bed was essentially useless, and the $42,000 starting price put it in Corvette territory without the performance to match. Chevrolet ended production after moving just 24,000 units over 4 years, far below projections. The SSR became a vehicle with no real audience, rejected by both truck and sports car buyers alike. Number 4. GMC Canyon, first generation, 2004 to 2012. The first generation Canyon shared all its components with the Chevy Colorado, which means it also shared all the same problems. Consumer Reports rated early models much below average in reliability. GMC hoped to position the Canyon as a more premium midsize offering, but buyers weren't convinced. By 2012, GMC was moving a paltry 2,200 units annually, barely enough to justify keeping the lights on at the factory. The 3.5-liter 5-cylinder engine was a disaster waiting to happen. Many owners faced cylinder head failures requiring expensive replacements. GM eventually extended warranties to cover the issue, but the damage to the Canyon's reputation was already done. Electrical gremlins plagued these trucks with faulty gauge clusters, fuel sensors, and ignition switches. Common, frequent recalls addressed issues like defective brake light switches and side impact airbag wiring problems. By the end, most GMC dealers didn't even bother stocking Canyons on their lots, and few buyers missed it when it temporarily disappeared after 2012. Number 3. Chevrolet Colorado, first generation, 2004 to 2012. When a truck lands on Consumer Reports' used cars to avoid list, you know it's a problem. The first-gen Colorado started with a bang. 150,000 units sold in 2005, but ended with a whimper, with fewer than 4,000 sold in 2012. The Colorado's reliability woes stem from its unusual inline engines, a 2.8-liter 4-cylinder and a 3.5-liter 5-cylinder. The 5-cylinder proved especially troublesome, with cylinder head defects causing misfires and loss of power. General Motors extended the warranty on these heads due to a tendency for valves to drop or seats to wear out prematurely. Electrical issues were rampant, instrument clusters often failed, and many owners had to replace faulty fuel level sensors or ignition switches. Even the AC blower resistor commonly failed, leaving owners sweating in summer. Several recalls plagued the Colorado, including one for brake lamp switches that would fail, meaning brake lights wouldn't activate, a serious safety issue. By 2012, the Colorado had developed such a poor reputation that almost nobody was buying it, forcing Chevy to temporarily exit the segment. Number 2. Dodge Dakota, 3rd generation 2005 to 2011. The final generation Dakota demonstrates how quickly a once popular truck can fall from grace. In 2005, Dodge sold over 100,000 Dakotas, but by its final year in 2011, that number had plummeted to just 10,000 units. Consumer Reports rated the 2005 Dakota much worse than average for reliability, citing problems with the engine, suspension, and drive system. The standard 3.7-liter V6 was underpowered and prone to excessive valve and lifter noise, while the optional 4.7-liter V8 could suffer catastrophic valve seat failures. Front suspension issues were common. Owners frequently replaced ball joints, tie rod ends, and wheel bearings long before expected. The Dakota's HVAC system was notorious for blower motor failures, leaving owners either freezing or overheating. Dodge never significantly updated the truck during its run, meaning by 2010, it was essentially selling the same truck from 2005 in an increasingly competitive market. The Dakota grew almost as large as a full-size truck without offering the same capability or resale value, leading buyers to either choose a true full-size or the more refined competition. Number 1. Ford Explorer Sport Trac, 2001 to 2005, 2007 to 2010. The Sport Trac tried to capitalize on the Explorer SUV's popularity by adding a small pickup bed, but buyers eventually rejected this compromise. From 70,000 units sold in 2001, sales dropped to just 5,000 by 2010. The first generation earned abysmal reliability ratings from Consumer Reports, landing on their used cars to avoid list. The notorious Ford 5R55 transmission caused the most headaches, with many owners experiencing premature failure before 70,000 miles. The 4.0-liter SOHC V6 engine had a known timing chain tensioner defect that could lead to catastrophic engine damage if ignored. The telltale rattling on startup was a warning sign that many owners learned to fear. Interior quality was lacking. Door handles, window regulators, and other components broke with regularity. Even the second generation, which added independent rear suspension and a V8 option, couldn't overcome the Sport Trac's reputation for mediocrity. The concept of a crew cab SUV truck hybrid was simply too niche, especially as crew cab mid-size pickups became more refined. Ford finally put the Sport Trac out of its misery after 2010, ending a truck that peaked early and quickly lost consumer interest. There you have it, the 10 worst trucks that almost nobody wants to buy, according to Consumer Reports data and sales figures. From badge-engineered disasters to luxury trucks with identity crises, these vehicles serve as cautionary tales for both manufacturers and consumers. What's your experience with any of these trucks? Drop a comment below and let us know if you've owned one of these reliability nightmares or if you think another truck deserved to make our list. Don't forget to subscribe for more automotive content, and we'll see you in the next video.